What's up, guys, and welcome back to the YouTube channel. My name's Dylan Zachary, and we got ourselves a great monthly album redesign for you guys this month, and it's really sick. So if you saw my last video that I uploaded a couple weeks ago, this is like the continuation on that, and I'm going to show you exactly where we went with that video. And if you haven't seen it, I'll link it somewhere around here. I just did like a little behind the scenes on the process of the monthly album redesign series and how I just start messing with some types just to kind of get an idea of where we're going to go with it, and I start messing with images and just kind of start moving things around. Yeah, so if you haven't seen that, go check that out. That was uploaded a couple weeks ago. Real quick, I just want to address I've been gone for a couple weeks now. I got a new phone. I don't know if you can tell the quality that it's different. I shoot everything on my phone, brand new iPhone 17. And yeah, so there was a little issue with that for a while, and then obviously the holiday seasons between Thanksgiving and Christmas, it's just everything is going so fast and I'm so busy. We're here, we're back, we're getting ready to kick the year off with some dope videos, and I want to keep doing this stuff. I want to keep talking about music, graphic design, and life, and everything in between. I just wanted to kind of address that because I disappeared for a while, and this monthly album redesign is dropping in December when it should have been dropped in November, but we're playing catch up right now, and just bear with me, man. We're going through it, and we're gonna do some dope stuff for you guys in the future, and I'm so excited to keep this channel growing. But anyway, let's get into the new monthly album redesign. This month we're designing something sick. We're designing Led Zeppelin 1, man. Look at that. Got the Led Zeppelin merch on right there. Led Zeppelin 1, such an iconic album. It's just one of those timeless albums, man. When it dropped back in the day, I know for sure that whole entire record and band took the world by storm. Led Zeppelin still to this day is fresh as ever, and Led Zeppelin 1 came out in 1969. Led Zeppelin is just a huge force to be reckoned with. They're still just as relevant and popular as they were in 1980 when they disbanded after the death of their drummer John Bonham. Honestly mind-blowing that they've been gone for 40 plus years, haven't made new music in that long, and they're still just as popular. But yeah, so for this monthly album redesign series for the month of November, we did Led Zeppelin 1. Let's get into that right now. And here we are, we have Led Zeppelin 1. So with this album cover, the album cover I was initially designing on the behind the scenes video I shot a couple weeks ago, so it's completely different on the final finished product of what we came out with on the monthly album redesign. I wanted to stick to the original Zeppelin photo that was used on the original album cover because one, it's so iconic, and two, it means so much to the original album and the band. And in my opinion, like, Led Zeppelin exploded onto the scene in 1969. Led Zeppelin started out as the new Yardbirds. Jimmy Page was in the original Yardbirds, and he slowly was fading away from that and kind of wanted to get away from it, but they were still in contract. So then Jimmy Page then rounded up some musicians, and then they went on tour to fulfill their contracts in the 60s as the new Yardbirds. And then slowly but surely they got out of those contracts, and then they ended up forming Led Zeppelin. And Led Zeppelin, the name came from the management basically saying that this is going to go down like a Led Zeppelin. So that's where the whole name from Led Zeppelin came from. So for the exploding Hindenburg being on the front cover of their first album, their debut album in 1969, the irony in that to me is just too priceless and too perfect to not use on an album redesign. So we just wanted to change it a little bit, make it a little more modern, make it a little more interesting, and that's what we did with this album cover. And it's such an iconic piece. And the Hindenburg exploding on their album cover, it's so iconic because Led Zeppelin essentially did just that. They exploded on the scene and took over the rock and roll world by storm, and that's exactly what they did. And like I said earlier, they're still doing it all these years later, even after they disbanded. So with the album redesign, I still wanted to stick to that original cover in some way, shape, or form. This is the Hindenburg in full-blown color. I did find some color images, some cool black and white images, some different images of like just different shots of the Hindenburg exploding. I wanted to land on this and stick with this original image just colorized because it's so much more fiery and explosive and a little bit more modern because it has the color in there and it's not so grainy. And so I wanted to make sure that we brought this out and made it extremely prominent and used so much saturation and brought out all the fiery explosion in colors, because that's what Zeppelin did in the 60s. They came on the scene with a fiery explosion. So we brought the Zeppelin to the forefront. We got Led Zeppelin kind of dissipated in the background there and the fiery explosion. I thought that was a really cool touch. Most people, if it was a debut band, would not do that because you want to know what the band is. This is the front cover. You don't want Zeppelin hidden in the fiery flames. But now, 50 some odd years later, everybody knows what Led Zeppelin is. So we got Zeppelin in there and the fiery explosion kind of off there in the mix of everything. All the colors extremely super saturated. We got this blue background to really bring out the orange and the yellows in the explosion. The blue background, it's just the Zeppelin cropped in closer, and we put a grainy texture over top of it and really just bled out the colors on this, and we changed it to blue. The reason why I changed it to blue is because Zeppelin 1, the album cover, there's a rare record out there that it's instead of the orange font like the standard album cover came with, it was a blue font. front, and that's an extremely rare Zeppelin copy that goes for tons of money now. I wanted to stick to that blue, and also, like I said, it's a good contrast with the yellows and the oranges. So yeah, we got the Led Zeppelin in there with the fiery explosion. We pulled the Zeppelin to the forefront, added these little lines here, kind of group it together, make your eyeball kind of focus on the Zeppelin and stuff, make it more 3D, makes it pop out a little bit. If you're looking closely on the final redesign image, you can see the track listing and their faces in the distance on the background, like mixed in with the blue. And what happened, it was a little happy accident when I was saving all the files and everything. I redid the back cover also like I usually do on my album redesigns, and I never hid those layers. In the distance, you can see like little happy accidents, like right there you got communication breakdown, I can't quit you, and you can see Robert Plant's face there holding the mic. It's just a little happy accident. I decided to keep it in there. I didn't realize it until I started shooting this video. It just adds a little fun to it. That's basically it. We put this little grainy film over top of it, and then we also put this plastic wrap, shrink wrap stuff to kind of make it look like a legitimate record. Yeah, that's basically the front cover. Very similar to the original cover, and I think that's what makes it a little bit special. It's in such close relation to the original front cover. It just made it a little bit more modern and everything. Like I said, if you watched the video from a couple weeks ago when I began this project, it is nothing like I was initially planning on making. Like, this turned out completely different than what I initially had in mind in that video when I began going through the types and going through the different just orientations of the record and where I was going to go with it. And that's the album cover. That's the front album cover. So let's get into the back cover now. And here is the back cover. So for some reason, I've said it in almost all my album redesigns, my back covers are always way better than my front covers. For some reason, I have no idea why. They just turn out, in my opinion, so much better than my front covers. So with this back cover, I wanted to do the most simplistic back cover ever. Kind of stay close to the original back cover, to stay close to it in like color and texture wise, but completely change it up, and that's what we did. So I stayed with like the original beige color of the back cover, but the original back cover just has their faces in like a diamond form, and then it just has the track listing and everything about Atlantic Records and stuff. So yeah, so I wanted to stay close to that, and then I pulled this photo from their new documentary that I really love, just because it's a super detailed photo and it just captures the band so well in the 60s time when they first exploded onto the scene. So I used that image down in the bottom left hand corner, and then we got the track listing there right above them. Just messed with the type a little bit, did a little bit of bold type, did a little bit of italicized type, kind of messed around with it. I really love how the type looks on this. And then I wanted to go and do, if I was going to go sit down at the marketing room at Atlantic Records in the 60s, and this new band Led Zeppelin, we were trying to push this band to kids in the 60s. I wanted to do this marketing ploy. I wanted to put it on the album cover, and that's kind of where this Led Zeppelin Rocks came from, because I feel like in the 60s, a bunch of suits would have sat down at the table and been like, how can we advertise this band to some kids in a cool way? And nothing is cool about Led Zeppelin Rocks. Yes, Led Zeppelin does kick ass and they do rock, but put it on the back album cover for a brand new band. So anyway, that's what I did. I was trying to think like Suits back in the day, and we did like this little mini campaign where I kind of came up with this idea, Led Zeppelin Rock. You could put it on billboards, you could put it on magazines, you could use it as their tour name or whatever. That's where this Led Zeppelin Rocks came in. I just thought it was kind of corny and cool, so I wanted to add that. That's the whole point of the Led Zeppelin Rocks there. I wanted to look at it as like a marketing ploy for the Suits back in the 60s. That's what we did. That's where the Led Zeppelin Rocks came from. But yeah, we got this promotion not for sale little sticker that I have in my black market vinyl collection sticker pack, and then we added the stereo Atlantic Record logo and the SD 19126. That's the original SKU of my record that I own of Led Zeppelin 1. Makes it a little more authentic. And then we put this film over top of it again, little plastic film to make it like enclosed record. Yeah, so that's the back album cover. Something super simple. I wanted a lot of space here, a lot of breathing room, because the front cover was just so loud, very saturated, tons of colors, fiery explosions of the Hindenburg, and I wanted the back cover to be a little bit easier on the eye, lots of space, lots of negative space, and like I said, the marketing ploy thing, I thought it was a really cool idea. For some reason, my back covers always come out better than my fronts. I think it's because I think too much into the front. You know, you kind of go down a rabbit hole, and then the back cover, I really never go into it with a plan, and then it just usually comes out the way it does, and we just rock with it. So that's it. That's the album redesign for the month of November. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you liked it. Led Zeppelin 1, one of the most iconic records of all time. If you haven't listened to it, go listen to it. Amazing record. Go spin it on vinyl. Go listen to it on Spotify. Wherever you get your music, go spin Led Zeppelin 1. Such a great record and such a fun record to recreate, redesign. That's all this monthly album redesign series is taking one of the most iconic records, coming up with your own idea and just your own twist to it. It really gets the creative juices flowing, and I have a good time with it every single time. This back cover is definitely one of my favorites. I love it. I love the negative space. It's just really cool, and that picture of the band is just legendary. So awesome. Thank you guys for tuning in and watching. I really appreciate it. If you haven't, make sure you hit the subscribe button. We got tons more videos coming into the new year, 2026. It's always a good time here, and we always love talking about great music and great graphic design. And on that note, I'll catch you guys in the next one. As always, be safe, have a great holiday, and I'll catch you guys in the next one, man. Peace.